Access Arts Live with our roundup of this week's upcoming live streams of the performing arts. We are having more and more of them coming up, and I couldn't be happier. Um, we'll start. We have them come. We have organ recitals. We've got chamber music. We've got open air concerts. We've got youth concerts. We've got everything you could ask for in terms of classical music. We don't have any operas coming up this week. I think mostly the operas are shut down, unless we can pick up some down under, and we will keep our eyes open for any of those kind of live streams as time goes by here. So let's kick this off right away. Starting out, we have three different offerings for you right away on Tuesday. Tuesday, July 9th, the Riverside Church of New York City continues its annual King of Instruments summer organ series of recitals. Riverside being the home of a renowned Aeolian Skinner pipe organ. It's worth tuning in just for that, and it's a free of charge live stream. It's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which would be 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast, and a little late, 12:30 at night, Tuesday night, or very early Wednesday morning here in Europe. The first half hour is a Caroline concert. It's the Laura Spellman Rockefeller Memorial Caroline Recital. Why is it called that? Because this Caroline, built in 1930, was a gift from John D. Rockefeller in honor of his mother. It is the world's largest carillon by weight, containing 74 cast bronze bells, not cast iron. The biggest of them, the Bourdon bell, weighs 40,000 pounds and is the second largest tune bell in the world. Might be worth hearing. When you're in New York, you're only allowed to, they have these Caroline concerts that people are only allowed to attend from outside because that's where the sound is best. I'm not sure how they'll work that for this. But it's the first half hour of this organ and Caroline recital. And it's played by the Carolinist Charles Semowich, who's the official Carolinist of the Riverside Church. He's also grand organist at the Grand Lodge of New York, and he's been an organist at the Ancient Temple Masonic Lodge in Albany, New York, for the last 25 years. So when he's finished, then it will be organist Michael Hay of the Marlborough Collegiate Church. He'll be playing part 6, the toccata from Ravel's Tombeau du Couperin. He will be finishing up with Mussorgsky's longer pictures and an exhibition. And in between, he's going to be playing a very interesting piece called Variations on an Original Theme, composed in 2021 by Jason Roberts, who is the organist at Holy Cross St. John the Baptist Church in New York. I've heard this variation. Look, if you look up Variations on an Original Theme, this title, you'll find all kinds of stuff from the 1800s. But this one is sort of like Broadway musical meets pipe organ meets a little bit of jazz. So it's free of charge. Why not check it out? But also free of charge if organ recitals are not your thing. The second offering we have for Tuesday, coming from the U.S., is from the Naumburg Orchestral Concert Series in New York City Central Park, which is, we're told it's one of the oldest ones on record. This will be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and 1:30 in the morning over here in Europe, early Wednesday morning. It's free of charge, though, coming from Central Park. Which could be exciting to the extent you also get that. I love the feeling of immersion in the place where a live stream is coming from. It's a concert by a group called The Far Cry, which describes itself as a self-conducted orchestra. They make decisions collectively. They rotate leadership among the players. They've been at the top of Billboard's traditional classical chart. They were named Boston's best classical ensemble by a group that's called the Improper Bostonian. And they've had 2 Grammy nominations for their recording called Visions and Variations. They're eclectic. They're doing Karim Rustam's Dabke, whatever that is. Kinan Azmex Ibn Arabi Postlude, Dinuk Wijeratne's Clarinet Concerto, and finally Leos Janacek, which sounds a little more familiar to me, but I'm a European guy, Idol. So that's a lovely free concert. Then a little later on the day, if you want, on the same day, if you want to spend some money on Tuesday, especially in the U.S., because the times work out for it, the first of 3 live streams coming from the Seattle Chamber Music Festival will be on Tuesday evening on the West Coast U.S. at 7:30 Pacific Daylight Time, 10:30 in the evening Eastern Daylight Time, and a horrid 4:30 in the morning Wednesday morning here in Europe, Central European Time. There's a charge for these. It's $30 US or 28 euros to get the live stream. We give you the link that you can click on, and then if you click on it after you buy the ticket, then they send you the link with which you'll be able to watch the concert. So I'm sorry if you notice that my eye movements are going up and down. We're experimenting with. We had so much trouble getting Instagram to work with our other platforms because we stream on several platforms. We stream on X, we stream on LinkedIn, we stream on YouTube, and those all work. And supposedly Instagram works, but it's complicated. So I'm streaming separately here on my phone on Instagram. So the eye contact is maybe kind of messed up. Forgive me. I don't know if we'll do this again, but we're doing it today. But anyway, so they have high quality musicians. We have already posted on our Facebook page, LinkedIn, YouTube, the names of the musicians and links to their biographies. They're good people. Tuesday night, they're doing Haydn's Piano Trio number 45 in E-flat major. They're doing Borodin's String Quartet number 2 in D major. Sorry about that for the real aficionados. And they're doing Brahms's Horn Trio in E-flat major. And I would like to hear a horn trio, I will say. So that's Tuesday night. Then Thursday evening, same time, 7:30 p.m. on the West Coast, 10:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and 4:30 in the morning here in Europe. I will not be getting up for that, but and again, the same price, $30 US. They'll be doing James Newton Howard's piece called "They Have Just Arrived at This New Level," and they'll be doing Gheorghe Ligeti's Horn Trio, Homage à Brahms. So we get another horn trio 2 days in a row. And Beethoven's Piano Trio number 7 in B-flat major, which is also called the Archduke Trio. That's on Thursday night. Then one more, jumping ahead of the queue, so to speak. On Sunday, July 14th, one more Seattle Chamber Music Festival live stream doing Bartok, Brahms, and Beethoven. You know, the Germans with names beginning with B. They could have. Anyway. This is on Sunday, July 14th, Bastille Day in France. It's 2 p.m. on the West Coast. That'll be 5 p.m. on the East Coast, and a not uncomfortable 11 p.m. here in Europe. If you're up, 11 o'clock is not late for me on a Sunday night, and you want to watch that. They'll be doing a selection from Bartok's 44 duos, but they haven't told us which selection yet. Brahms's Variations on a Theme by Haydn, again, Variations, and Beethoven's Septet in E-flat major, Opus 20, for those who count the opuses. And that's coming from Seattle. Now, on Friday and Saturday, more chamber music coming out of Washington. I swear, those people in Washington, Starbucks came out of Seattle, Washington, and invented the cafe latte for Americans back in the early 90s. Anyway, those latte lovers must love chamber music, because there is an Icicle Creek Chamber Music Festival going on. It was going on last week. We didn't know about it, didn't get to tell you about it. And it costs about half as much to live stream their offerings as the Seattle Chamber Music. Icicle Creek is a sylvan sort of outdoor woodsy place about 120 miles east of Seattle. So several hours drive from there. Kind of place to go on the weekend and maybe hear a concert and stay overnight in a chalet somewhere. Anyway, they charge $15 US, which would be about 14 euros for their concert. It's at 7 p.m. in the evening on Friday, West Coast time. That'd be 10 o'clock in the evening on the East Coast, and an unwatchable 4 o'clock in the morning here in Europe, unless you're dying to hear some quality chamber music of the following pieces. Fanny Mendelssohn Hensel's 3 pieces for piano. It's a 4-hander, so 2 pianists are going to be at the keyboards. Rebecca Clark's Prelude, Allegro, and Pastoral for clarinet and viola. Joaquin Turina's Piano Trio No. 2 in B minor. And something more conventional, Mozart, Gran Sestetto Concertante for string sextet. Icicle Creek is celebrating their 30th anniversary of doing these concerts. So they must be doing something right, or you don't last 30 years if you're not. And you can find, if you follow the links that we give you, you can find also further information about the musicians who are typically for these kind of chamber music festivals. They get musicians. Some of them will be part of established chamber music trios that you would recognize if you really love chamber music, or they're the heads of music programs or teaching at esteemed institutions like Juilliard or other places like that. Saturday evening in the same time slot, 7 in the evening on the West Coast, 10 in the evening on the East Coast, and 4 o'clock in the morning Sunday morning here in Europe. They start off with another 4-hander. This is a Schubert Lebenssturm for piano for 4 hands. And then they continue with Southam's Glass Houses, No. 11 for solo piano. Elberga's The Wild Yonder for violin and piano. Solima's Arboreto Selvatico for 2 cellos. That sounds lovely. And Dvorak's lovely Serenade for strings, Opus 22, for those who count the opus numbers. So those are 2 lovely chamber music festivals from the great state of Washington in the Northwest United States, all through this week. And there's also Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Pacific time, there'll be a youth concert with because Icicle Creek has a youth program, and we'll give you the link to that. They're doing selections from Beethoven and Boulanger and Mozart, but they don't tell us what the selections are, so we'll just give you the link. Saturday and Sunday, finally, my European colleagues, we have things to listen to in our time zones. The London Symphony Orchestra is offering a free open-air concert, free for the people to attend in person, free for us to watch online. It's their annual BMW Classics open-air concert, Saturday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, London time, which is 6 in the evening, Central European time. That means everybody else besides London. That'll be noon on the East Coast in the U.S. and 9 in the morning on the West Coast. I think it's worth getting up at 9 in the morning to hear the London Symphony Orchestra free of charge, do a bunch of crowd pleasers. That'll just be fun and exciting. They'll do Emmanuel Chabrier's Joyeuse March, the Joyous March. They'll be doing Johannes Brahms' Rondo Zingarese, which is a rhythmic dance piece by Brahms, of all people. They will then do a piece by composer Joanna Lee, which was composed for this occasion. They'll be doing the world premiere. The piece is called Beams.bellows.bounds. And it will be played not only by the London Symphony Orchestra, but they'll be joined by 70 young musicians from East London who are part of their LSO Discovery programs for youth. So if they need 70 young musicians to join in on something newly composed, and of course somebody would be trying to Skype me right now. There you go. Please go away. Anyway, this is what happens when you live stream on your phone and your computer. This is not television. Everything isn't fixed up. And even if you watch the recording of the live stream, what you see is what you get. Anyway, so I think it's going to be an innovative piece by Joanna Lee, and it's worth tuning in just to find out what she composes and what you do with a world-class orchestra plus 70 kids from the east side of London. And they'll be finishing up with the lovely ballet by Igor Stravinsky, Petrushka. I mean, how do you beat that for a free concert online? Listen, enjoy it with really good earphones on. Then on Sunday, St. Eustache Church in Paris has another of its weekly organ recitals. Hopefully it won't be canceled this week the way it was just yesterday. due to technical problems. It's a Baptiste Florian Mal-Ouvrard. And that's at 5 o'clock Central European time, 11 in the morning, dans la matinée, as the French would say, on the East Coast, and then early 8 in the morning on the West Coast. But what's wrong with an organ recital at 8 in the morning to start your Sunday? They like to start out these recitals with older pieces, like from the 18th century. And this time it's Claude Balbastre, an 18th century composer, but the pieces are terribly popular. It's La Marche des Marseillais, which I think is the Marseillaise, the French national anthem, and the air Ça ira, which is also a very popular tune from that earlier era. This is followed by Jean Langlaise, Chant héroïque and Chant de paix, the heroic song and the song of peace. Then from the maestro, nobody knew better how to write for the organ than Olivier Messiaen, an organist himself, an esteemed one. Apparition de l'Église éternelle, the apparition of the eternal church. And finishing up with 3 poems for organ, Trois poèmes pour orgue, by Thierry Escaich, who's still living, and I think I have talked about him possibly in an earlier live stream done by this same organist and in a recital at the same church. I'm not sure. Their live streams are lovely. You see behind the organist an open door of the church, so you see passers-by, because it's a very walkabout area. The Les Halles district in Paris is where the Saint Eustache Church is. So you get a feeling of being in Paris, but they give you really good coverage of some of the handwork and some of the pedal work, and then some of the audience. So you really get the feeling of being immersed. That's basically this week's live stream. There's one more link that we'll give you. It's for the National Symphony Orchestra's Summer Music Institute. This is a youth concert by musicians 15 to 20 years old. It's at the Kennedy Center in Washington. It's on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening at 6 p.m. on the East Coast, 3 o'clock on the West Coast, and that would be at midnight Central European time. It's free of charge. We'll have the link to it, but you have to click on the link for the Kennedy Center, and then they will provide you the link to get to the concert once you get there. The Americans seem to like to have you have to click on somewhere, and then when you get there, then they give you the link, either after you pay or not. They'll be doing some Debussy, some Britten, some Stravinsky, the Firebird Suite, and that sort of thing. Look, it's a great upcoming week of live streams. This is the longest live stream on our part we've done, but we had all this material. I had 6 pages of notes that I had to give you. And as ever, I want to remind you, please follow us on one of our pages, preferably Facebook, so that we can live stream this on Facebook, because right now we don't quite have enough followers to do that, but we just need a few more. So we're also on X, we're on LinkedIn, and we are on, there you are up there on my phone. We're also on Instagram. And that's this week's. Help us repost also, if possible. Help us bring together this enormous global audience that we know is there for the performing arts, so that they start appreciating them online, because the more people tune in, the more of this kind of stuff we'll get, and the more it will become financially sustainable without even having to charge the end users, which is us. So ciao for now. Have a great week. We may be back on Wednesday if we have some new discoveries at this same time slot, 6 o'clock European time, noon on the East Coast and 9 on the West Coast. If not, we will definitely be back for a weekend roundup on Friday at 6 o'clock in Europe, noon on the East Coast, and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. Ciao for now. Enjoy this week's wonderful live stream.